I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. Mists of Pandaria Remix is just incredibly underwhelming to me. I've only played through to level 25 at this point, but within the first 20 levels, I feel like I should have been hooked, and I just don't feel hooked at all. And I know somebody in the comments is gonna say, "Oh, wait, you should play it out till end game and see how it feels." And I don't really feel like that's the correct approach to things. You should really be able to hook somebody within the first 20 levels of the game. I just did not feel like Blizzard provided what they were saying they were going to provide. And I don't think I'm the only one who misinterpreted that. From what I was getting from the Blizzard posts on Twitter and from what I was seeing on Wowhead and Bluehost, it was that this was going to be an inflated Mists of Pandaria experience. You were going to be snowballing through mobs. The XP was just going to be crazy good. You were going to be going super fast through this content that it was a joke. Yet, as I was trying to do the content, I felt like I was going at a very slow pace and I was getting very bored very easily. Luckily, I can entertain myself, and if you are going to watch the video, you can see that I entertain myself quite a bit. But it was just a very, very mild experience. And I think this mildness actually comes from a composition of things, but the one I want to say first is the gems. The gems at early levels feel negligible. The first 20 levels, your gems feel like they do absolutely nothing. And the way they portrayed things was that these gems that you get are going to fully enhance your experience and change it. Yet I had this gem that was like, oh, when you kill a target, it's going to explode and deal damage to everything around it. And I'm playing a Demon Hunter and I'm thinking, oh, I'll Chaos Nova, I'll Sigil, I'll I-Beam, and sure enough, all these mobs will just like blow each other up. And I do that and I'm trying to pull packs of like maybe 7 mobs, which is not that many. And I feel like I'm struggling. I feel like I'm not actually doing as much damage as I should, and that these little explosions that are supposed to be amplifying my experience are actually not doing anything at all. I mean, I got many gems that were like almost useless, like frost armor. I got this one that was like brittle. I can't really name the rest, but they just didn't feel good no matter which combination I tried. I almost felt like just using the raw stat gems were probably better than using any of the ones that have those certain affixes on them. I think the Tinker Gem is what it's called. The one in the boot was even worse. It had a 2-minute cooldown. It was like a step in the shadows. I would like blink to a location. It was almost like the ability from Shadowlands that the people of Revendreth had. I think the vampire people, where they could just like teleport a short distance, but it would put on a 2-minute cooldown. And I'm a Demon Hunter and I'm thinking, why would I ever use this? Like, this is so pointless. Like, yeah, sprint or maybe like roll would have been better, but even then I already am a class that is like super mobile, so I don't really see the point of putting any movement ability in my boots when I'm already a super big movement ability class. And then the meta gem that I got was also unfortunately not the best. It was like this one that called down 5 lightning bolts and they put flowers on the floor, and it felt funky. It did do some damage and it did a decent amount of healing, but with the cooldown that I had, it just was not significant enough to put in my rotation all the time. So what I'm saying is, at those early levels, the gems feel like they're almost doing nothing. It does not feel significant enough to the point where it actually matters. And another thing that contributed to this mild experience was the fact that the scaling was off, or something wasn't right with a lot of things. So I'm going to talk about the issue of scaling specifically with dungeons, more specifically the heroics I was running. So I started doing heroics at level 20 as soon as I thought I could. I had blue gear, I was feeling pretty good, and so I go in and I try and tank it, and I'm almost getting 2-shot on every boss. I'm just sitting there with my spikes up as a Demon Hunter, and I'm like, what's going on here? I would use my metamorphosis, I transform, and I try and keep myself alive. Yet healers were struggling to keep me up. When I was avoiding mechanics, I wasn't tanking anything like too hard. I was just sitting there, and mechanics were almost one-shotting me. In one of my dungeons, I had this Brett Paladin that consistently died on every single boss somehow. He was getting a 1-shot on every single boss. I think he was just getting hit by a mechanic and it would just instantly kill him. There's no reason why I should almost be dying when I have defensives up and a healer's just spam healing it to me. So if the scaling is wrong, just don't let the lower levels go into the heroic dungeons. Just gatekeep it, say, hey, at 40 you can do heroics or something. And the last thing I want to say on terms of mildness that I directly experienced was the issue with the world. And when I say the issue with the world, I'm talking about layering and sharding and things like that. The best thing about a new experience is seeing the whole world alive again. Like with Classic and TVC and Wrath and surely Kata, seeing the world so full again is what really makes the game fun. That's what I like to call that classic fever. It's where the world is so alive and it's that rush of everybody doing everything at the same time. With MOP Remix, I did not feel that at all. I would be questing, and early on I saw maybe like 6 people, 7 people, and then it dwindled down to like 4 or 5, then 3 or 2, and then almost nobody was nearby me as I was questing. So I think there's a big issue with layering because it makes the world feel so dead. I think there were people at the bazaars, which is fine, but not as many as there should be. Overall, I find it kind of boring. The experience is just not that great. I think the idea behind gems is really cool and that they could have done a lot with it. Yet it really felt short in the leveling experience. I'm sure they play out super well and you feel super OP at max level, but you really need to pull in your audience early on and say, hey, like, here's something that's OP and fun, and just imagine what you can do at max level with it. Yet there was none of that felt throughout the early leveling experience for me. I think that if you're purely looking for a leveling experience in Pandaria, then this is okay. I think if you're looking for transmogs and cosmetics, this is okay. But if you're looking for a truly unique experience, something that is new in its own idea, this is not it. This is just Dragonflight with a MOP skin painted over it. It's nothing truly desirable. It's nothing truly interesting. Everything you get early on at a low level feels not impactful at all. It's kind of like that slow burn that if you get to the end, you're probably going to notice something unique, but by that point, are you even caring about the experience anymore? What are you really playing for? Are you playing for the transmog, for the cosmetics, for the mounts? What are you playing for? So if you're expecting something anywhere close to MOP Classic or anything close to Season of Discovery, this is not it. Just skip it. Don't waste your time. The gem system is lackluster and kind of annoying, to be honest with you, with how much it floods your bags. The leveling is slower, the world isn't as alive, and the dungeons are not scaled correctly. If you just want to quest and enjoy Pandaria because it's something you've never done, then absolutely do it. This is your best time to do it, especially for transmogs and cosmetics. But if you're expecting anything other than that, I would just simply not bother. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. If you agree with me, cool. If you disagree with me, cool. I don't really care. I just wanted to give my take on Mists of Pandaria Remix. I feel like what they said they were going to give us versus what they gave us is completely different. I truly wish we could have been super OP heroes from the start, just going through Pandaria, completely demolishing content and leveling up in a super fast way. But it genuinely just does not feel that way, and the things that they incorporated just feel somewhat useless. But I'll leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like this video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. There will be more Ascension content coming, and I'm actually going to be doing some of the raiding in MOP Remix, so if you do want to see that, check it out. I'm going to be getting a couple of the mounts or something. I don't know. I'm going to make at least 1 or 2 more episodes on MOP Remix, and then that's it. And then it'll be purely Ascension content and likely Cataclysm. But anyways, guys, I will catch you guys all in the next one. Appreciate you guys for being around. Peace.